All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class, I have been creating a series of video presentations based on the textbook that will be used for the class, the AWD 1111 class, for the fall 2019 semester. That book, as you can see, is ProASP.NET MVC 5 and A-Press text by Adam Freeman. So far, we have gone through the first 10 chapters, so we're more than a third of the way through. We are in the middle of the Sports Score project. I'm sorry, the first 9 chapters. We did the real application, the navigation, the completing the cart. We've got 10, 11, and 12, so we're about halfway through with that. Now we're going to go into Chapter 10, which is the mobile. Then we'll do administration, security, and finishing touches, and we'll even see if we can deploy it. We'll see how that works. All right? Before we go on into the rest of the book. Now, one thing I promised at the end of the last chapter was that I was going to run this. Okay, and I'm just going to go and I'll throw a kayak in there. Okay, so, come on, there we go. Continue shopping. Let's throw one thing from everything we've got in here. Soccer, corner flag, water sports, we already did that. Chess, we'll put in the bling bling king. Okay, so we've got 3 items in here, $1,509. Let's check out. Can we get there from here? I don't think we built that in yet, but we'll click the checkout now. So, see if we can put this stuff in. Jeff Scott, 755 North Parr Road, Wentzville, Missouri, 63385. And options, sure, gift wrap them. Complete the order. Well, that doesn't look good. It looks as though, oh, we're getting that send email message. Could not find the path. See Sports Score emails. All right, so I'm going to have to change that. In fact, let's just go in. Grab this. Come on. Sports_store_emails. So let's go to our C drive. And under our C drive, we will create a new folder that's called sports_score_emails. All right, hopefully that's the right name and everything is cool now. Let's stop this, get rid of this. We'll get rid of it by just stopping the run. So we will have to run it again. I'd like to see if this works. Maybe I'm expecting too much here. I don't know. I'm also eating into my mobile time. So I'm just going to throw one item in here. Kayak is the first thing that's up here. So we'll just add that to the cart, check out now. Again, put in our information. All looks good. I don't care about gift wrapping complete. I think failure sending mail. Okay, I think that the reason we got that is because we do have that SMTP error. All right. Okay, I'll have to try to fix that later, I guess. So, file, save all. Let's jump into our book and Chapter 10. It used to be that having a mobile portion of your website was a nice thing, but not so, it wasn't so much that you had to do it. It's not the way it is today. Fortunately or unfortunately, delivering a good experience to mobile users can be hard, as they mention here. The MVC framework does have some features that can help with mobile development, but the MVC framework is a server-side framework that receives HTTP requests and generates HTTP responses. So there is a limited amount that it can do with the wide variation of capabilities. You know, when you think about it, tablets, phones, etc. All right, the author says here, is putting mobile in context. There is a fourth option, that is to create a native application, but we're not going to worry about that here. Number one, do nothing, or as little as possible. In other words, if we take the program and run it just as it is, and I wish I'd have kept it up there, I didn't. But if we come back to our program again, all right, and we run it, now I'm not going to worry about actually, I mean, I can put something in my cart, but I'm not going to do anything else with it. Let's continue shopping. Now, as we shrink it down, does it look terrible? Well, you can see a problem there. And it's not great, but it's viewable if I put that on a phone. All right, maybe it's not something I'd be super proud of, but it's okay. All right. Let's see. Let's put a life jacket in, and let's look at this form. That starts breaking down here. All right. It's okay. Probably this right here would be about the size for a tablet. All right. So it wouldn't look bad on a tablet. Would not look good. Totally non-responsive for a phone. All right. So that's the first thing we could do. Again, would be to do nothing. All right. Next, we could use responsive design. All right. With responsive design, it says it's something that is handled by the client using CSS and is not directly managed by MVC. All right. And the author says he goes into this topic in his Pro ASP.NET MVC 5 client book, but to give you a demo, we're going to use some responsive features included in Bootstrap. Okay. The goal here, as mentioned, will be to work on the main part of the application so that it'll work on an iPhone. It says the previous do-nothing strategy doesn't pay off because it has a narrow screen. So you tried that on an iPhone. We've already seen this, how bad it would look. All right, the author says he's going to tackle the problem in sections, focusing on different aspects of the layout. The goal is to preserve all the functionality of the application, but present it in a slightly different way. Note, the MVC framework is not an active participant in responsive design. It sends all browsers the same content and lets them figure out how to work with it. All right, so first thing we're going to do here, as it says, is to create a responsive header. We're going to start with a page header, which contains the sports score name, the cart summary, and the checkout button. Although the simplest solution would be to remove the name and free up enough space for the rest of the content, we're going to keep it there. It says accepting of reality sidebar. So one of the easiest way to free it up is to get rid of it, but removing it can be difficult. It says not for technical reasons, but typically because if you're going to create something for somebody, they don't want the name of their company to go away just because somebody's looking at it on a phone. The author's advice is to accept that a certain amount of screen space will always be given over to branding, even on the smallest and least capable devices. All right, so we're going to add some responsive content to the underscore layout file. First thing we're doing, as you can see right here, I've got it highlighted, is we're adding some internal CSS. Notice the nav bar will be floated right, and it'll have some margin put in there with it. So again, we're going into the layout, see it, right under the title, the layout underscore CS HTML file. So right under the title, Now we put that in. All right. Then in our body, right under the first div, we're going to add some material here. Okay. I think we're going to end up removing this, but let's see. No, we're not. But we're going to put in this. All right. Bootstrap defines a set of classes that can be used to show or hide elements. This is something you typically would do with CSS using media queries, but the Bootstrap classes are integrated into the other styles. For the branding, we've used visible.xs and hidden.xs, where the XS is extra small, to switch the text on the two so that it'll be shown vertically if it's less than 768 pixels. Responsive CSS features like the ones provided by Bootstrap are based on the size of the browser window, not the device screen. Mobile device browsers are usually displayed full screen, meaning that the window size and the screen size are the same, but you can never be sure. You can see the effect of these changes by starting the application and viewing the project listing in a regular desktop browser, okay, and then shrinking it down to see if it breaks over into two lines. So let's try that. Let's do a file, save all. Let's run the program. All right, and let's make this go down. So we're going to see if we can take the sports score, break it up over two lines. And it is not happening. Don't think I did anything wrong. But one thing is, this is now sliding underneath here, and I don't know if it was doing that before or not. That still looks terrible. Yeah, this is supposed to make this in two different lines by putting it into two different divs when we're on an extra small device. It does not appear, though, to be working. So let's save it. That shouldn't be any kind of issue. Bring it up again. Let's refresh. It is not happening. See that? So something is goofed up. See, again, these are the kind of things that when we go over this as a class, ideally at least, we'll be able to fix. But right now, I don't really have the time to go over it. But I didn't see anything looking at it quickly that looked like it would be wrong. All right. So next we want to add some responsive content, so I can leave this up here. Lets me, and I want to go to the, I don't think it's going to let me here, so So I need to get back into a different file. So let me stop the run. And we need to get into the summary.cshtml file, okay, which is shown right here. And we're going to add some code. First one is right after the, instead of the nav, just nav bar right, we're making it nav bar right. We're telling it to be hidden. For smaller devices. All right. In fact, let's just grab everything that's in the book here. Put the whole thing in. Much simpler to do it like that, I think. All right. And as we look at the code here, the author says this is the same technique that was applied to the layout underscore layout.cshtml when we selectively wanted to show and hide content. In this case, we're hiding the standard checkout. The bootstrap icons are applied through a span element, which means that we can't use the HTML action link helper method here because it doesn't allow the ability to do that. All right. Instead, we define an element directly and use the URL action helper method described in more detail in Chapter 23 to accomplish this. Now, again, you saw the luck I didn't have before. So we're going to come back in here anyway, and we'll keep plugging away at it, okay? Oh, hello. Well, you can see we've got a problem here. Sports store, sports store. We don't want that to be in there for both of these. And that will go back to the file we had up before, which was our layout file. And so this might be on me as far as the error we had previously. Look like we don't put anything in there. That A that we see right there so that A should go right here. Let's run it one last time, shall we? Or not last time, but let's run it again, shall we? Apologize for that error on my part. Now it's just one. Now when we cut it down, is it going to go to 2 lines? Yes, it does. We don't have it saying your cart anymore. See that? So that is shrinking down, looking okay. Again, looking okay within the confines of the way we're trying to do this. All right. All right, we're at 19 minutes. Before I come back and talk about mobile first versus desktop first, let's finish this particular lesson and we'll go on to the next.